Hi, welcome. It has certainly been a while since I've last uploaded some content, so I figure it's time to share a bit about this phase of my life, which I consider to be kind of on pause, so to speak, in terms of interacting with my business and in the world through my business, and really stepping away from that, from social media in general, to focus in on my family and, of course, on myself, my personal development, and things of that matter. So I wanted to share what I believe is more of a feminine journey. It's one of accepting the pauses in our life when we are on that path, we're on that journey of success, we are striving to accomplish our goals, and something might stop that, right? We have many different circumstances that come up that may appear to be distractions, and we have to take some time away from what is our dream. So I wanted to share that it's not necessarily a sign to give up, right? Because as we know, quitters never win, right? So even if we're having to pause, still keeping our dream alive is having it really is a part of you. So it never dies. There's always something that reminds you of it. There's always something that connects to it, whether it be lessons in life, different experiences that are helping you grow and change. And so you can use that experience to really enhance your vision and enhance all of your goals, and you can change them and really begin to hone in on how that vision is really going to unfold. So the feminine journey is obviously different from what we may call the masculine journey, which is linear. It's just very clear, step by step, and you to reach that goal. And it's nonstop. It's fast paced. It requires a lot of energy, and it can really lead to burnout if you're not careful. And that's why balance is so important. So within the feminine journey, it's really about surrendering to the different delays, the stops, that something may appear as a hurdle that is like blocking us from our next move, and really surrendering to what it means and what we can learn from that experience, and comparing it to what we're praying for, right? So if I'm praying for more patience, right? If I have an issue with being impatient and I'm praying to be better with my patience, I may come across an experience that is going to test me in that area. And being proactive and really into personal development, I love to research different tips and what tools I can use to help me manage my patience, right? So When you're aware, you will notice that experience. You will feel the trigger, right? It's going to trigger the impatience. So then you have a choice to make. Am I going to respond like I always do, or will I do something different? Will I really implement those new tools? Really embody what it means to be patient, right? And so when you do that, that's victory. And it feels good because it's like, finally, it's like you're conquering those parts, those weaknesses, those, if you want to see it like a battle, that enemy, you conquer it, right? You move on to the next battle or however you want to see it, right? Because we have a lot of different areas that we may want to improve. So it's really about being aware of them and being able to handle them one step at a time. And sometimes, just like in a video game, you might have two opponents, you might have two weaknesses in one occurrence, right? Like it could be your impatience as well as your anger. And you have that challenge because even being passive aggressive can also be a degree of anger, right? It may not be expressed the same way as a loud outburst, but it's still that same vibration that, having that anger inside. And so it's being expressed differently. So it's looking at both of those weaknesses and having that opportunity to conquer them both, or to somehow at least take a step toward improvement, right? Like you may get halfway through it and maybe the last moment you cave in and you just lose your temper, right? But did you make some type of progress? And those are moments worth noting, because the perfectionism, something that I've experienced and I still struggle with sometime, that perfectionism can make you just look at the outcome, seeing it as, oh man, I failed, not really looking at the whole and really examining the process. How did it go? Where did it mess up? And being able to expand that container, so to speak. So if you're able to hold your composure for 3 minutes, okay, next time try 5, next time try 10, and so on. So these type of experiences really do require patience. And as I said, it requires surrendering to the moment, surrendering to the journey, accepting the beautiful curves, the ups and downs, right, that come with this journey, and accepting it may not be straightforward as you may have hoped or planned, or what we're used to seeing, that it looks like it's just straightforward. It requires a lot of different paths. And then looking back, we can see this is what I did to get here. And so to someone else, it may look like a straight line, but through the experience, it wasn't. And so I've I'm just grateful to be able to accept where I am and really reflecting on what I'm praying for, the skills that I'm desiring to develop within myself, and how it applies to my overall vision and my dreams, my goals. So I wanted to share that. Hopefully, that's something that can be useful to someone else who may be in a space of feeling hopeless. It can be heartbreaking if it feels like your dream is not happening or you wonder if it ever will. And that's part of the challenge is believing, keeping that belief alive and having that faith that yes, it will manifest. It just, that's the difference between those of us who actually see it unfold and it's here, it's manifest, and those that unfortunately their dreams just die within themselves because they couldn't manage to overcome what they were going through to see it through. So no matter what, to always hold on, no matter how big it gets, right? Your dream may get really big, a lot of things are happening. And then there are times where it may slow down and it may appear small, but it has to still have like a little flame there. You got to have that fire still burning. And from my personal experience, there's always some sign for me to know to keep going because it'll be something that inspires me. It'll be a client that'll return, or I'll just speak to someone in passing about a particular subject that relates to what I'm interested in and what is really aligned with my vision. So this information comes more easily when we meditate, right? When I make sure to be in alignment with my higher self, my spirit, because that's really where the vision is coming from. So I know by God's will, right, it will be as long as I'm obedient to the call. When I feel inspired, that you feel there's that instinct that comes. And if you've ever experienced that, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And really developing the intuition to know and discern the difference. So, in my last meditation, I chose to focus on one of the names of Allah, which is Al Bayith. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. This name in particular is the infuser of new life. That is what the name means, Al Bayith. And really meditating on that and just doing just little Google search on the name and really starting just to start, right, to understand the name, what it means, right? This is my effort taking a step towards God. And so it's kind of like when the floodgates can open up, and it allows me to receive more guidance and understanding. So I can feel it within myself, the inspiration to, the inspiration is like, and also like an urge of what I should do next, what I would like to research next. And so as I do that, the next thing that I see or read, it'll spark more within me to make me feel really intrigued, really alive, right? Al Ba'ith, like to awaken and to send out, as like a messenger or soldiers going into battle, the it's the arouser of the spirit. So it is so true. I found it to be true. And so I was so happy for that experience because that's what inspired me to share this message. And I pray that it will reach the right people, whoever that may be, because I have the urge to do this. I believe it's by divine will. And as I listen to others, because I love going on YouTube, and I am inspired by them as well because they have the courage to put their message out there and share their authentic voice. And a lot of times it helps me too. It's something I can consume and, kind of keep with me. Some things better than others. And then I use them at the right timing, like a tool, right? So these are different things that I believe are helpful to one another as we share to help the journey be a lot easier and more enjoyable, and that we don't get so wrapped up in comparing ourselves to another person's journey, but remembering that we're all unique, we're all very different. Of course, at the same time, we have similarities, but we are very different, remembering our fingerprints being only one. So, with that, each of us will have different experiences, and to accept that and to really own it, that's really a part of what life is about. Self acceptance, being authentic, and loving it. And that's when we can feel the difference within ourselves, you know, which is related to our frequency, our vibration, and how others will interact with us, and opportunities that we'll be able to see because we're in that certain mindset. So hopefully that is something that the listener here, you, will experience as well. And hopefully we can share that and continue to encourage one another. So, with that being said, that's all that I'll share for now. Until next time, thank you for listening.